Stress is an element in everyone's lives. Most of us consider stress as our enemy. Have you ever wondered how stress could be utilized to your advantage? Curious? Please watch this episode till the end. Good morning, viewers. Welcome back to Clarity Chats. I'm sure you're wondering where we are, but I can't tell you. We are in a very beautiful place with amazing trees around us, and it's actually 5:30 in the morning. And we have our guest here, Thomas, and the topic that we are going to talk about today is something that would be of interest to all of you. It's building positive mindset and using stress to your advantage. But before we dwell into that, let's get to know who Thomas is. Good morning, Thomas.
Hello, good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank
Thomas, would you like to tell a bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a German-born resident of Oman for 18 years now. I have been gliding into the Wim Hof Method and became a Wim Hof Method instructor with the aim that I assist people to overcome stress, anxiety, fears, phobias, and maybe even depression. I have a full range of a program which includes Qigong and some Tai Chi, yoga, meditation, mindfulness, most of it in natural setting. Nature connectedness is one of the main parts, but the essential part is breathwork.
Amazing. So, viewers, you must have guessed, why do we have this natural setting today in that case? So, that's amazing portfolio you have there, Thomas, a wide range of different approaches to deal with the issues which all of us have in our lives. But some of us just live with it. We don't decide to speak about them or do anything about them. But viewers, today's video, if you keep watching, you are going to encounter many different methods that can really help you and save you those medical bills. So before we get into further, let's start with defining or knowing what Wim Hof Method actually is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure some of our viewers would have heard about it, but I still doubt the masses know about it. I mean, for example, I didn't know about it until maybe 2 weeks ago because someone told me, and that's how I met you actually. So maybe a bit about Wim Hof Method and what it is and how can one utilize it for different situations.
Okay, so the Wim Hof Method was invented, discovered by a Dutch guy. His name is Wim Hof. He's a record holder of 26 world records, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro within 24 hours in only shorts and boots. He climbed up to the death zone of Mount Everest into 7,500 meters height, only in shorts and boots.
Wow.
He had the longest swim under ice on a breath hold. He also has a record for hanging by one finger between two balloons up in the air 1 kilometer above ground. Other records include a marathon through the desert of Namibia, where he didn't drink a drop of water.
Wow.
At all. Another marathon was a half marathon in Lapland, barefoot at minus 20 degrees through the snow, and a full marathon later with shoes. And many more records, including longest immersion in ice baths. Why did he do all this? To gain attention about what the human body is capable of, that we can overcome stress, that our body is very resilient, that the nature setting in our body knows what to do. The method itself is based on 3 pillars. It's breathwork, mindset and commitment, and cold exposure. There have been studies, a lot of different scientific studies about the Wim Hof method and its effects, also about other sorts of breathwork and meditation. And it was discovered that the combination of the 3 together has a proven effect on people who have anxiety, fear, phobias, or stress disorders, even depression. The latest publication was in 2022, December, from the University of Bayreuth. It's a university in Germany, and they published this study. So it can be shown that you can reduce. There are other methods where you can do the same as well. Yoga, for example, is a method known for many thousands of years in certain parts of the world. Qigong, which is a Chinese form of energy work, slow movements, focusing on breath work, on breathing, also reduces. There are many different forms of somatic breath work. Somatic breath work means just being focused, alert, mindful, while using the breath to unify mind and body.
Amazing. So, as we can see, uh, when Thomas told us about Wim Hof himself and the amazing achievements that he had, in my mind, I was just thinking about um, good breath control and a mindset which is determined. But we learned something new today, which is cold baths that can actually help. So exposure to cold as well. So Thomas, could you tell us how does cold actually assist in this matter?
There are so many people doing cold baths around the world. Thousands of people, tens of thousands maybe by now. Why do they do that? Because they also feel good. But why? How does it assist us? First of all, it's a hormetic exercise. Hormetic means it's a form of stress which tells our body, I have to make some changes. For example, if you go to the gym and you lift up the dumbbells and 25 kilos, and you want to do 10 more reps, in that moment, your mindset is telling your body 25 more. And you give it all to do 25 more. That's a hormetic stress, because your body is now getting to a light, healthy dose of stress, and responds with increase of circulation, muscle growth, tissue growth, tendons becoming stronger, maybe even bone density, depending on the type of exercise you do. So the same is when we study. We're training this part of the brain. We're studying and studying, trying to force more information in there. The body responds. If we go into a cold bath, now we go back to our mammalian reflex, which has been there since before we were even humans. And our lymphatic brain then kicks in and knows what to do. So automatically our cardiovascular system, all the blood vessels we have in our body, do you know, if you would all line them up and string them together, it would be about 120,000 kilometers. That's about 2.5 times around the world.
Wow.
So all these blood vessels, we don't really train them. We're always in a comfort zone. We are now exposing ourselves to a little bit discomfort in a moment when it gets hotter. But normally, we just take a shirt off, we'll go into air conditioning, we turn on a fan. Or the opposite, we put on a sweater, we put on a jacket, we put on a hoodie or a hat, mittens, So we dress accordingly. But our body has the capacity to adjust. And we're not training our cardiovascular system with going into cold exposure, cold showers, or an ice bath we're now exposing our body to this stress. And that trains our cardiovascular system, enabling all these blood vessels to vasoconstrict when it gets cold and vasodilate afterwards to allow blood back into the areas.
All right. So now that brings me to a question, right? There are many people, in terms of cold exposure, it wouldn't be easy for them to handle. Some of them, like I know, in the cold countries, when they have the cold wave, if they wouldn't cover themselves, they can fall sick or they get hospitalized. So I'm just trying to understand, if me, for example, I have to go and sit in a cold bath, how would I do that without actually falling sick?
Yeah. So you wouldn't fall sick in short doses.
Okay.
Yeah. You dose it right.
Okay.
So you wouldn't go and climb up a mountain just only in shorts on your first attempt. Yeah. So you slowly train your body.
Yeah.
And by doing so, you're training your mind, because now you're training your mind to overcome your pain receptors, because they will tell you, this is cold. This
Correct.
is very cold. This is painful.
Yeah.
But the pain is not that bad. The pain is not worse than, you know, at the 24th and 25th rep of your dumbbells.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, yesterday I was doing that and I still pains.
And we still continue.
Correct.
So in the ice bath, it's the mindset. The good thing is, the side effect is that when you do this sort of training, you're preparing yourself to deal with all sorts of other types of stress. So now if you're in the car and somebody just veers over 3 lanes right on top of you without an indicator, and you have to go on a full brake, yeah, and you saved yourself, but you're like,
Yeah.
just breathe, it's over, it was a near miss, but nothing happened. No reason to get excited, to raise your voice, to raise your heart rate. The person can't hear you anyway.
You know what? I mean, you just reminded me something that happened to me last week. It was exactly same situation. I was going towards my house. This gentleman just decides to come in and overtake me while there was a car on the opposite side. And as he noticed the car, he just decided to ram in on my side, back end. And it was me who swerved my car on the side and avoided him. And he just went on going. So like you said, I took a deep breath. I did make sure I called the authorities and I complained on him. I clicked the picture of his number plate. But saying that, the point I'm trying to make here, from what Thomas just said, how can you actually use stress to have a positive mindset and go on with your life? Maybe, Thomas, you can shed some light on this point. How can one utilize their stress to their advantage?
Very good. We basically go to the edge of our comfort zone. We often live in comfort zones. We don't allow ourselves to explore new things. Some people do, you know. So you might do a hike, you might do a walk, but how about you do a little bit of a steeper walk? And you might only do your hikes and your walks in the winter when the temperature is comfortable. Well, how about you attempt to do this at 5 o'clock in the morning in the summer? In the
Like
beginning,
now?
yeah. In the beginning, it's beautiful. You know, you do the Al Riyam to Matra hike, you know, you start early, sun comes up, beautiful scenery, you hear some animals, birds and stuff.
Yeah.
And by the time you're finished, the sun is up, you're hot, you're sweaty, but now you exercised your body. For the ice bath, if we commit ourselves, okay, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna try this out, it's good to do this with somebody who can guide you into it. You don't want to just shock yourself, and especially not in a sweaty form, you know, like you're heated up to 37 degrees and you're like sweating all over, and then you go into an ice bath, and definitely not head first, because you need to follow a certain protocol to do it safely. By using the correct mindset and being committed, you can, and a breathing technique, you can then immerse yourself and overcome this. Now, what are the benefits of this? Besides increasing your entire circulatory system, increasing your metabolic rate, which is the same we want to achieve when we go exercising, right?
Exercising, yeah.
You're also releasing a lot of different hormones. With the breath work itself, they figured out with this type of breath work in the Wim Hof method we do, there is more adrenaline released than on your first bungee jump.
Mm-hmm.
Adrenaline is very important to hype ourselves up, to get going.
Yeah.
And, like flight or fight. Yeah. But we want to be in a relaxed way. One is called sympathetic.
Yeah.
The other one is called parasympathetic. So to get into the parasympathetic, we relax, we digest. But when we get into stress, into sympathetic, we need to overcome this. We need a little bit of help to bring more blood into our tissues, to be able to run away or fight or climb a tree. Yeah. Adrenaline,
Yeah.
or it's also called epinephrine. This helps us because when that is released, more blood cells, more red blood cells can transport more oxygen. More oxygen, more energy. That's what we need. We need more energy in that moment. When we then go into the ice bath, more hormones are released. Endorphins, oxytocin, serotonin, opioids, even endocannabinoids.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people hear these names and they're like, what is that? What is that? These are substances made in our body, and endocannabinoid is very important to fight cancer cells.
All right.
So super important. By doing this regularly, we increase the health and our immune system. And that was another study that the human can influence our immune system. And this was the Radboud study of 2011, continued in 2014. In 2011, they took Wim Hof and he had said, I can influence my immune system and my autonomous nervous system. And they're like, wait, autonomous? That means we can't influence it. Well, I can. I'll show you how. They put him into this, it was at Radboud University in Holland.
Yeah.
And they injected him with a dead E. coli bacteria.
Oh, okay.
And that's a standard test, immunization test, where people then fall sick for 2.5, 3 hours or more, get fever and nausea and all this stuff. So get clear signs and symptoms. He was monitored. They were taking blood samples. He was injected. Half an hour later, the physician, he asked him, so how are you? I'm fine. After about 10 minutes, a little headache came up and I just breathed it away and I feel good. So they were astonished about the results and then decided to do a second part of that study in 2014 when it was published. And they basically took a whole bunch of volunteers, about 18 of them, more than 18 of them they took to Poland and trained them. They'd ask him, how many months does it take you to train such a person? And he said, give me 2 weeks. So he took them to Poland. They trained for 4 days, the breathwork, commitment, mindset, and cold exposure. Then continued for another 5-6 days to continue what they just learned back in Holland. And then they took 12 out of this group and 12 control group of a similar level of fitness and same age. And they injected them all with the same E. coli bacteria. The 12 people of the control group all felt sick. The 12 trained people, a few of them had very mild symptoms.
Amazing.
And this is the Radboud study, 2014, proved for the first time that humans can influence the immune system and the autonomous nervous system. And that was actually taken into the medical teaching books into the United States so far and in other medical journals.
Amazing. So I'm sure you guys are wondering, with that amazing knowledge about a human body, is Thomas a doctor? He's not.
Mhm.
And we are not medical practitioners either. So we are not giving you any medical advice. This is based on Wim Hof method and the studies and research that has gone into it. So now I'm sure the viewers have a question. Was this just because of good mindset, breathing, and cold exposure that they were able to, uh, avoid falling sick even though they were injected with E. coli bacteria?
Yes, the mindset part is very important. And I just like to add that for sure, we don't want to have I don't want to tell anybody, okay, stop going to the doctor.
Correct.
Yeah. This is something additional you can do on your part to
Yeah.
change your lifestyle
Lifestyle.
to help with medication procedures, physicians are prescribing to you to assist healing faster.
Faster.
Yes, healing faster, healing better, healing easier. This is what a lot of people are doing this for. Millions of people every day are doing this breath work, and thousands or tens of thousands of people are doing this cold exposure. So back to your question. Would you repeat the question for me?
Sure. So
Sorry.
the question was, you mentioned that there was a test done on 24 people, 12 of them control and 12 who were actually trained on the Wim Hof method, and they were injected with E. coli bacteria. The control people fell sick, whereas amongst the 12 trained in Wim Hof method, a few of them had some symptoms. So, did they achieve this just by having a good mindset, good breathing, and cold exposure?
Yes, they did. The mindset is super important. And there was another study done with Wim Hof as well, where they put him into a specialized wetsuit, and this was at Michigan State. And in this special wetsuit, they had pipes going through, and they could flush the whole thing with ice cold water or with body temperature water, like let's say room temperature water, slightly cooler. And they would put him into a full CAT scan. So while he's in the machine, they can, for some minutes, flush him with cold water or with normal temperature water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And they ask him, don't do any breath work. Yeah. Just with your mind, keep your skin temperature constant. Now, everyone else that did the test with, when the cold water came, the skin temperature dropped. With Wim, the skin temperature stayed at a steady 34 degrees. Okay, our core temperature is about 36.5, 37
Yeah.
degrees. Skin temperature is slightly cooler. Just with his mind, he kept his skin temperature at the same.
Okay.
And the core temperature, of course, as well. So it's called the mind over body study. Mind over body. So the mindset helps us to achieve our goals.
Correct.
It's the mindset which helps you to overcome stress. It's the mindset where you say, oh, I'm a victim, and you go into the victimized mode, where a lot of us are if we have issues, trauma, we just lost a loved one, whatever big event happened in our life and they are unavoidable. Yeah, we come and we go, and so do our friends and family around us. But in this time, you can see the positive side and see this, okay, it's God's will. Or you can go and just victimize yourself.
Victimize yourself and stay in that situation for life and the beautiful things around you are just passing by, and you're just victimizing and sitting at home.
So you can see yourself
Yeah,
you can see the situation from a winning attitude. The glass is half full instead of half empty.
absolutely. Now, this brings me to the question: if one has to train oneself to become positive while using the cold exposure method, how many months of therapy you think would be required until a person has reached that level where he has a positive mindset and he's able to control his breathing and pass through stressful events in life? Or does that differ from person to person?
I would say it differs from person to person, and the thousands of reports which came in towards Wim Hof and his team, and on the websites and in surveys they did, people were reporting many different things happening to them by using this method. Most of them reported that in general a higher state of well-being, yeah, overcoming stress in better ways, having more resilience, in certain situations, being more alert and aware. People reported in general better circulation and supply of certain areas. So especially if, let's say, somebody has an injured foot, yeah, so if they do the method, they felt like it was healing faster. Yeah, it helped me. I was not paralyzed, but I had a back injury, and I had to, after an operation, had to learn to walk again. And I used the breathing every day, and within a month, I was walking again, fully normal. Within 2 months, I could run again on the beach. Within 3 months, I was even back on a surfboard.
Amazing.
So that's my result, and I'm glad and grateful for it. Yeah. And I did the breathing at least once a day or twice a day. And the cold exposure I did way later.
Okay.
Over a year later, I started with a cold exposure. I thought, like, everybody's talking about this ice bath. I guess what that is. And then came the aha effect. Because now I
The aha
realized, wow,
moment.
yes, because what a power. How do you feel after that, in your day? So you also said something in your question about therapy. This is not considered a therapy per se. It's an add-on effect.
Okay.
Okay, so people can choose to use it. Now, it's basically for free. Once you know what to do, you can continue at home in the comfort of your home for free with the breathwork. Yeah?
Okay.
And it's, of course, very enjoyable and intense to do this in a group setting, yeah, with other people, and do the breathing there, experience the meditation, experience the different exercises we do, and then two after two, or one after one, all little groups go then into the ice bath and,
Okay.
and
So,
see the
if
power.
if the viewers have to do this, so it's a 1 day session or a 2 day session?
Yeah, there's for example, Wim Hof instructors around the world. There are about 1,200 instructors scattered around the world. Not so many in this region here. I think about 4 or 5 in the UAE, and so far only one here in Oman. I invite others to join. Um, People would go and join one of the programs. The programs can be breathwork sessions. The breathing sessions are about 90 minutes long or so. Some are even offered online with Wim Hof instructors, and that's to get started with the breathing. And then when people want to go ahead and experience a workshop with the cold exposure, that is typically 4.5 hours long.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're held here in different locations. We have some gyms, some hotels where we hold regular workshops There's one coming up on the next Saturday, the one after as well. So they can be found on the Wim Hof Method website, which is www.wimhofmethod.com, or you can just search on Google Wim Hof Method and your region, your area, and probably the closest Wim Hof instructor will come up. And there's also a way to find the same on the platform itself.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks, Thomas, for that information.
Sure.
While you were speaking, the devil in my mind was working in the background, and there is this question which popped up in my head. I'm not sure if some of the viewers have this question too. We're always told drinking cold water is not good for your health. You should always drink room temperature water or warm water. So now I'm trying to put two and two together with cold exposure and what you mentioned and drinking cold water. What's your take on this point?
On cold water,
Drinking cold water.
I think drinking small doses of cold water or cool water at a time to refresh yourself is okay. But if you're fully sweaty, you're probably better to start with regular temperature water. Yeah, regular temperature water, like the one I have here in my old reusable bottle. Yeah, that one, it fulfills the role of rehydrating you without extra work required of your body. You're not increasing the energy level required. Yeah? Every process in the body requires energy. Yeah. If I drink room temperature water, I need less energy to warm it up in my body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once I drink a little bit and rehydrate myself, then a few sips of cooler water, I think that's fine. But how some people do it, they have this big jug of ice water or iced tea, and they gulp this whole thing down. I do not think that is healthy.
Yeah.
I think it will create a shock in your
System.
you know, and then the whole system has to work against it or so. And I'm not sure if it's so good.
Yeah.
I always went with a room temperature one. I also love to drink cool water once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another tip, viewers, for you, apart from the actual topic. That's a bonus for you.
Yeah.
So now we spoke about all the methodologies on how to use stress to your advantage, right? And positive mindset is the key. Controlling your breathing and cold exposure. So now I want to understand what are the different conditions that this method can be utilized for, or let's say, what are the different conditions with which your audiences came for, or the people that come for the sessions.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I think this could help the viewers understand. Probably some of them have these situations in their lives, and they can actually approach the Wim Hof method.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people came to me with all sorts of different reasons. Many of them were they wanted to become more calm and wanted to reduce their stress. So that was one of the reasons. Some people had some physical calamities and they wanted to increase the healing. They were wondering, how can I heal faster? Anything from arthritis to necrosis from diabetes to other joint pain not related to arthritis. People wanted to stop smoking and stopped smoking, but just by doing the breathing method. People overcoming phobia of the ocean, of the water, yeah, or phobia of heights. And some people wanted to overcome grief because of loss of someone. Now, if you go on the on the website or on the YouTube channel, anything related to Wim Hof, there are many, many reports. There are reports of people with Crohn's disease having had very good results by using the method. There have been people with spondyloarthritis, and there's even a scientific study about that it actually does help people with spondyloarthritis. Always remembering you don't want to just turn off the medication and then jump into this. For certain conditions, for example, people with cardiovascular diseases or issues, for example, somebody with a pacemaker or somebody who takes strong regulating medications to regulate the heart, they are strongly advised to see their physician first before they attempt anything different, not just the Wim Hof method, although the Wim Hof method is generally considered safe. So it's a super wide range of people who reported that they gained benefits. Let's talk about the people who shouldn't do this.
That's a good point.
Pregnant.
Should not do it.
When you are pregnant, a woman should not do this. Okay, that's in general. Why? Is because we know too little. Correct. There are no studies about pregnant women, how it affects the child in the womb. So that's why in general we advise don't do it. Now, are there women who practice the breathing, and are there women who practice even the cold bath being pregnant? Yes, they are, But in the Wim Hof method, we say, please, we prefer the child is born and then afterwards you come over and enjoy then. And the other contraindication is epilepsy. People who have epilepsy, there are so many different things which can trigger epilepsy. Right? For some people, it's a smell, it's a sound, it's a strobe or light effect, breathing. So we say maybe not, because if in that moment we're in the ice bath, maybe not a good thing. And that's the reason. Too little is known. That's the simple reason.
Amazing, viewers. So with that, we have come to the end of this wonderful topic. And before we go, 3 things that we stressed all throughout the episode: positive mindset, good breathing, cold exposure. So saying that, I want to end this session by saying, it is you who limit you, and it is you who can break that limit. Thank you, viewers, for your patience with us, and I hope you enjoyed this discussion. Please subscribe to our channel, and we will be coming up with more wonderful discussions like this and more fantastic topics that help us day in and day out. Thank you. Bye for now. Hi guys, you liked our video where we showed you how stress could be used to your advantage? Now continuing on that is our next episode, where we'll show you how to play at the edge of your comfort zone and still be a winner. Please watch the episode and enjoy it. Welcome back to yet another episode with Thomas. In the last episode, we spoke about how to have positive mindset using good breathing methodologies, cold exposure, and a determined mindset. In this episode, we would like to share with you how playing at the edge of your discomfort can be utilized to your advantage for situations like depression, phobia, anxieties, and so on and so forth. While we are having this wonderful tea here, we will discuss this topic. So Thomas, tell us your experience. You know, I remember talking to you offline, where your story is so fantastic, and the things that you managed to start doing later on in your life, as against uh, when you were a child. I think your story could be a very good motivator for the viewers, and at the same time, it can give them an insight how playing at the edge of your discomfort or of your comfort zone, getting out of it, can actually help you cross miles and do things that you never imagined.
Mhm.
So go ahead.
Yeah, how can we go across our comfort zone? Um, I think the first time I took a ice bath, it was at the North Pole, at the geographic North Pole. At the time, I was employed on a Russian nuclear-powered icebreaker for expeditions up north, and I went to the North Pole twice. At the first time we stopped there, they stopped the icebreaker, and some of the Russian crew members, they jumped behind the ship, you know, where it was all ice and mush and stuff. They put a ladder in, they put a rope around themselves, and then they stepped into the water, swam a little bit, went into the sauna. However, they heated up. I didn't really see that part. And the second time we came across, the first time I had too much work, I had frozen feet. But the second time I thought, I want to do the same, you know? So I prepared myself and then went into the ice bath. I gave somebody my video camera, put the robe around, undressed, just my bathing suit, and stepped over the ice, down the ladder, into the water. It was 1 minute and 24 seconds, as per the video, of agony. The most pain I ever felt.
Mm.
I couldn't believe it that I just did that. And afterwards, I did exactly the wrong thing. I went into a hot shower. And
Oh,
even after half an hour, I started
shivering.
shivering uncontrollably. I was very uncomfortable. So why was that? Because I did it wrong. Now I did the wrong thing at the wrong time. Now we have to prepare our body beforehand. We have to prepare our mindset, and then once we come out, there's a certain protocol we use to slowly warm up our body. Yeah. Our body knows what to do. So yeah, many years later, when I had this injury and I was doing the breath work, and it had helped me, I decided, let's revisit this ice bath thing. So I got myself a setup for an ice bath, and just the first day I went in with my hands, and I managed a minute and a half, already longer than the very first time. And it was doable because I prepared as I was instructed. The second time, already over 2 minutes. And then I left my hands out, which is good. You can do the hands separately. The hands are super sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I managed then to go into an ice bath and to the edge of my comfort zone to overcome stress
Yeah.
and become stronger.
Yeah.
People ask me, oh, how do you stay in shape, you know?
Yeah.
And what do you do? I don't do that much.
Yeah.
I do my breath work every day,
Yeah.
a couple of push-ups,
Yeah.
maybe some yoga sometimes.
Yeah.
I run maybe once a week for 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
So you don't need to do a lot physically,
Yeah.
but your mental work,
Mm.
some mindset
Is
meditation is good. Yeah. Regularly praying, fantastic. Yeah. And the breath work I do every morning. You can do it before prayer, after prayer, or if you don't pray, in the morning after you wake up, even on your bed, drink a glass of water, and then do your breathing,
yeah.
and you will feel already the benefits.
Yeah.
Now, I had other edges of comfort zones as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Maybe we enjoy some tea.
Sure.
Mmm. By the way, this is a
Oh,
high
wow.
mountain oolong tea. It's the oh wow tea.
Oh, wow. That just smells amazing, guys.
This is a golden lily tea. Um,
You guys behind the camera, you need to try this after we are done.
Master Sun Bao.
Amazing smell.
Very nice. Yes.
Oh, that's really flavorful. That's an amazing tea. Perfect for this morning. 7 a.m.
Mm.
Very nice.
So, for example, I was always a non-swimmer in my youth as a teenager, and couldn't swim. I was automatically, my mindset was, I'm not a swimmer.
Yeah.
Because of some traumatic events in my family where people had near drowning accidents, and I grew up, swimming is dangerous, I can't swim. Even in trade school. Then I was 20, I got my first job on a ship. I thought it might be a good idea to know how to swim, you know. And yeah, I practiced a little bit here and there. I started snorkeling, starting to get more comfortable in the water. And then I realized it's just training. You just need to train the muscle groups. You need to train the type of breathing you do when you swim. And wow. So one day I went to the edge of my comfort zone. We were in the Amazon River at the side where the Tapajos River flows into it. You can't see the other side of the river. This is how far it is away.
Okay.
You know? But brown water slowly flowing. And that day I decided to swim from the ship to the shore. Yeah. I got
from the ship to the shore. Hold on there. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's something that we need to really talk about. So you swam all the way from the ship to the shore. So
it was maybe 250 meters out or so, 300 meters.
Okay.
Yeah. So not that close, but it's still a flowing river. It's still the Amazon. You don't know what's in there. And some of the crew members were jumping off the deck into the water, climbing back on, jumping, you know, like in a diving pool.
Yeah.
And we had fun, and I decided, oh, I think I'm going to be a swimmer. I'll see if I can make it. If I make it, I'm a swimmer.
So that was your first time?
That was my mindset. Of course, I had swam a little bit, but never really a distance over like 100 meters. So
yeah.
And I managed. Obviously, I'm here to tell the tale. It was stupid. The first officer, yeah, he had a going at me afterwards that it was of course not the best and cleverest idea I had as a young lad, 20. Yeah, we sometimes do stupid things, but we test ourselves out. Yeah, and that's one of the situations where I saw. Later, I became a dive instructor.
Wow,
so,
guys.
From a non-swimmer to a dive instructor, but it's the breathing which helped me. And the breathing also helped me when I first encountered the first type of breath work. I was doing Shaolin Kempo. Shaolin Kempo is a martial arts form, similar to Shaolin Kung Fu. And I was practicing that in a dojo in Germany. And I was still a very, they say, a wee lad, a small guy, you know.
Okay.
Until I was 17, I was the smallest in class. Nothing wrong about being small, but when you're a kid in your teenage years and you're smaller, skinnier than anyone else, wearing big glasses and braces, you get bullied a lot.
Yeah.
So I was bullied a lot, and I didn't like that. And then a friend said, come, we go to this training, Shaolin training.
Yeah.
I went there, I loved it, but the trainer, he was so tough and hard. And when you said, no, I can't do this, you're speaking in class, 20 push-ups. I could maybe do 2. And he's like, 20. You know, you do 2 at a time and you collapse. And he's like, you see, now you did 20. So he showed me what we're capable of doing if we have either the mindset or the pressure behind us. He gave the pressure, but he's the most fantastic guy. He's the president of the Thai Box Federation in Germany still, yeah, and international trainer. And Detlef Turnau is his name, and he was a very important mentor for me in my early years. To see, sometimes we have to get to the edge of our comfort zone to proceed further, to get into the next level. Yeah,
Great.
if you see, like, okay, those of us who maybe have seen a video game in their life before, you know, you want to go from one level to the next level. It's the same in life.
Correct.
Yeah, sometimes you need to overcome and fight that boss to get to the next level.
Yeah. So, non-swimmer to a diving instructor. That's an amazing journey, viewers. And again, the fact and the truth of the matter is determination and mindset can actually help you go beyond and leap over all the boundaries that you have created for yourself in your mind. So like I mentioned in my last episode, it is you who limit you, and it is you who can break that limit. So nothing is impossible in life if your mind is determined to achieve it. Positive mindset and a determined mindset. That's what takes you long and long and long, as long as you want. Great, Thomas. That was a very good insight. But you know, they say it's better said than done, right? I mean, people say, yes, it's easy to talk, it's easy to say. How do we actually implement this in our lives? You know, how do we walk the talk, like they mentioned? So some tips for our viewers.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, find out what makes you uncomfortable. Does it make you uncomfortable to speak in front of an audience? Yeah. There's a very good example from one of your episodes. Yeah. Where people just say, that's uncomfortable, but I will go there, I will go on stage, and I will talk in front of the audience, and I will make myself do it. And then you overcome that hurdle, and boom, you're on the next level, right? And you can use other things as well. For example, driving a car. You never drove a car before. In the moment when you then start driving a car, okay, it's just practice. It's just exercising. To go swimming. Yeah. Does that make you uncomfortable? To go snorkeling. A lot of people have a lot of fear of the water because they don't know what's underneath. You put a snorkel on them, you know, a mask and a snorkel, and the next moment they see what's underneath and they go like, oh, this is beautiful. The fear is gone, and boom, next level. With so many things in life. You feel like, oh, I have these issues, this and that and that. A lot of people nowadays, they live their life more sedentary, you know, in comfort zones, sitting down, maybe consuming any sort of media,
always on the phone,
watching TV,
exactly,
or playing games or so. Well, for a little bit, that's okay.
There's a term for that. It's called couch potato.
Yes. So as soon as a certain behavior or habit becomes extensive, it can fall into a negative behavior. You know, so if you suddenly become an adrenaline junkie and jump out of airplanes just in a squirrel suit, that's the other extreme opposite, right? But you don't need to go there. You can just see, okay, how would it be if I just hike up that little hill for half an hour, break a little sweat? How would it make me feel? And if I do it again and again and again, and then I want to go there, and it takes an hour, you know, for example. Or how about I try going to a gym, or I always go to this gym, let's try a different sport. I always do these same exercises. they're doing, let's say, CrossFit or any other sport, or maybe martial arts,
Yeah.
maybe Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, let's just try it out. How is that? Yeah, makes me uncomfortable. Oh, I will decide I don't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
The cold bath, coming back to that, the cold exposure is a very good tool to get people right to the edge of their comfort zone, because most of us, in general, the largest part of the population, when we get into ice water, we're uncomfortable, but
True.
our body knows what to do.
Yeah.
If we, you heard of Bear Grylls,
Yes.
survival expert.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says, oh, if you fall into a frozen lake, stay calm. Well, that's easily said, because automatically your sympathetic nervous system kicks in and you go into panic mode. You go like, ah, and you
Yeah.
would climb over anything and anybody. A
Correct.
panicked person in the water will climb over you.
True.
Yeah. So if you can stay calm in that moment while being in stress, you can then see, aha, there's an exit. You calmly go there and you make your way out. Instead of just scrambling out, losing energy,
Yeah.
heat, power, hope, and increasing fear. The moment we do something uncontrolled, the potential for fear is increasing, because our mindset switches from winning attitude, survival mode, to victim.
Yeah. So now, when I summarize the whole thing, using a cold bath is one of the methodologies to make you have a determined mindset. So when Thomas said, you got to keep calm and move on, this is nothing but determination, and this is nothing but pushing yourself to the edge of your comfort zone, and eventually you reach the other side of the tunnel. So saying that, viewers, I think you have got the gist of our discussion, and how having a positive mindset and how trying to go beyond your comfort zone can help you get rid of a lot of phobias in your life, and a lot of I would say situations or depressions that you have are related to somewhere or the other the boundaries that you or your mind has created.
Correct.
With this, we adieu you goodbye, and we hope that you liked this short and sweet discussion while we were having this wonderful oolong tea from Taiwan. And please subscribe to our channel. Like I always say, this just encourages us to bring in more exciting topic and guests like Thomas on our channel, where we have discussions that can benefit you and your situations and your life. So have a good day, stay well, and peace. Bye for now. Thank you.